and we will continue in my previous video. So let's start. Book name is Tortora and the Golden Age of Microbiology. 1857 to 1914, for about 60 years, it comprised the Golden Age. Beginning with Pasteur's work, discoveries included the relationship between microbes and disease, immunity, and antimicrobial drugs. Fermentation and Pasteurization. Pasteur showed that microbes are responsible for fermentation. Fermentation is the conversion of sugar to alcohol to make beer and wine. He also showed that microbial growth is responsible for spoilage of food, and bacteria that use alcohol and produce acetic acid spoil wine by turning it to vinegar acetic acid. Pasteur demonstrated that these spoilage bacteria could be killed by heat that was not hot enough to evaporate the alcohol in wine. So, this application of high heat for a short time is called pasteurization. In 1835, Agostino Bassi showed a silkworm disease was caused by a fungus. So, in 1865, Pasteur believed that another silkworm disease was caused by a protozoan. In 1840s, Ignaz Semmelweis advocated hand washing to prevent transmission of puerperal fever from one OB patient to another. These are the germ theory of diseases. Continue. 1860s, Joseph Lister used a chemical disinfectant phenol to prevent surgical wound infections after looking at Pasteur's work, showing microbes are in the air, can spoil food and cause animal diseases. 1876, Robert Koch provided proof that bacterium causes anthrax and provided the experimental steps. Koch postulates are very famous, used to prove that a specific microbe causes a specific disease. We will discuss step by step Koch postulates. He said that he proved that pathogen must be present in all cases of disease. Pathogen must be isolated and grown in lab in pure culture. I hope you know pure culture. Pure culture means that culture which contains only one kind of microbe. So that's why it is called pure culture. Pathogen from pure culture must cause disease when inoculated into healthy, susceptible lab animal. Same pathogen must be isolated from the diseased lab animal. So these were the Koch postulates. So we will now talk about the vaccination, how to cope with these diseases and counter it. In 1796, Edward Jenner inoculated a person with cowpox virus. The person was then protected from smallpox. So the smallpox and cowpox were similar viruses. So that's why the cowpox. Edward Jenner did inoculated a person with cowpox. So cowpox was animal virus and it has the same appearance. So when it went into the body of that person, it produces, evoke and promote immunity, which causes the protection from smallpox, called vaccination from vaca for cow. So that's why the term vaccination emerged from that vaccination which Edward Jenner does with cowpox virus. So that's why vaca means cow. The protection is called immunity. The birth of modern chemotherapy. Treatment with chemicals is chemotherapy. Chemotherapeutic agents used to treat infectious diseases can be synthetic drugs or antibiotics. Antibiotics are chemicals produced by bacteria and fungi that inhibit or kill other microbes. Quinine from tree bark was long used to treat malaria. Then in 1910, Paul Ehrlich developed a synthetic arsenic drug, salvarsan, to treat syphilis. So these were the start of modern chemotherapy. In 1930, sulfonoamides were synthesized from sulfur and amides. In 1926, Alexander Fleming, the famous Alexander Fleming, discovered the first antibiotic, penicillin. What he observed that Penicillium fungus made an antibiotic, penicillin, that killed S. aureus. In 1940, penicillin was tested clinically and mass produced in 1940. So remember that in 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered antibiotic which name is penicillin, and which is produced by Penicillium fungus and which killed S. aureus. Bacteriology is the study of bacteria. Mycology is the study of fungi. So we will move on to modern developments in microbiology. So what we gain knowledge in that era is that bacteria. We talk about bacteria, fungi. So the study of bacteria was called bacteriology, and study of fungi was called mycology, and the study of protozoa and parasitic worms was called and is called parasitology. So recent advances in genomics, the study of an organism's genes, have provided new tools for classifying microorganisms. Immunology is the study of immunity. Vaccines and interferons are being investigated to prevent and cure viral diseases. The use of immunology to identify some bacteria according to serotypes, variants within a species, was proposed by Rebecca Linsfield in 1933. Virology is the study of viruses. Recombinant DNA is DNA made from two different sources. So you must know that recombinant DNA is that DNA which is made from two different sources. In 1960s, Paul Berg inserted animal DNA into bacterial DNA, and the DNA produced an animal protein. Recombinant DNA technology, or genetic engineering, involves microbial genetics and molecular biology. Microbes and human welfare. Microbial ecology: bacteria recycle carbon, nutrients, sulfur and phosphorus that can be used by plants and animals. So now we will discuss how microbes do welfare for humans. Bioremediation, the most important, one of the important, I won't say the most, I will say that one of the important work which is done by bacteria is degradation of waste, organic matter or waste. So it degrades the organic matter in sewage, in industrial waste, in lakes, and blah blah blah. So a lot of bioremediation is done by bacteria. Bacteria degrade or detoxify pollutants such as oil and mercury. Biological insecticides: microbes that are pathogenic to insects are alternative to chemical pesticides to prevent insect damage to agriculture crops and disease transmission. So bacteria or microbes are also important in preventing our crop loss which is done by some pathogenic insects. So bacteria produce some kind of toxic chemicals which kill these insects, and which cause the more growth of our crops. So Bacillus thuringiensis produces a kind of crystal chemical which which kill other insects and other plants, which are harmful for the crop. Modern biotechnology and genetic engineering. So moving on, you see that it is going on in a chronological way. So now it comes to the biotechnology and genetic engineering, which is the most promising aspects of biology. Biotechnology, the use of microbes to produce foods and chemicals, is centuries old, but genetic engineering is a new technique for biotechnology. Through genetic engineering, bacteria and fungi can produce a variety of proteins, including vaccines and enzymes. Missing or defective genes in human cells can be replaced in gene therapy. Genetically modified bacteria are used to protect crops from insects and freezing. Normal microbiota. Normal microbiota prevent growth of pathogens. Normal microbiota produce growth factors such as folic acid and vitamin K. Resistance is the ability of the body to ward off disease. Resistance factors include skin, stomach acid, and antimicrobial chemicals. Infectious diseases. When a pathogen overcomes the host, resistance disease results. Emerging infectious diseases are new diseases and diseases increasing in incidence. West Nile encephalitis. So this is the emerging disease caused by the West Nile virus, and first diagnosed in the West Nile region of Uganda, so named after that place, in 1937. Appeared in New York City in 1999 and caused some epidemic. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, caused by prions, also causes Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease (CJD). New variant CJD in humans related to cattle-fed sheep for protein. Another disease was emerging is caused by Escherichia coli 057H7, toxin-producing strain of E. coli, first seen in 1982, leading cause of diarrhea worldwide. Invasive group is Streptococcus, rapidly growing bacteria cause extensive tissue damage, increased incidence since 1995. Ebola hemorrhagic fever, caused by Ebola virus, causes fever, hemorrhaging, and blood clotting, first identified near Ebola River, Congo. Outbreak very few years ago. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Hantavirus is the cause and first identified in 1951 in Korea as cause of hemorrhagic fever and named for Hantan River. A new disease involving respiratory systems was seen in the US in 1995. The US virus called hantavirus Syn-Nombri virus probably came to US with rats around 1900. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, HIV, is the causing virus first identified in 1981. Worldwide epidemic infecting 40 million people, 14,000 new infections every day. Sexually transmitted disease affecting males and females. In the US, HIV AIDS in people 13 to 24 years of age, 44% are female and 63% are African American. Anthrax, bacillus anthrax in 1877, which proved B anthrax causes anthrax. Veterinarian and agriculture workers are at risk of cutaneous anthrax. In 2001, dissemination of bacillus anthrax by a male infected 22 people. So this is all from today, and I hope you will learn from it a lot. And thank you for watching my channel, and please subscribe and like and share with your friends. Hope you enjoyed it, and your suggestions will be highly appreciated. Thank you.